Hi, friend. Welcome to Confessionals with Julie Renee. Grab you a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or whatever brings you comfort, and let's have an honest conversation. Today's confession is that I've been living a lie most of my life. Why, you may ask? I was naive. So, the past couple of years, it has been a very interesting journey. So some of you may know already that a couple of years ago I left corporate and I sold and gave away all my things and moved back to my hometown where most of my family is. And it has been quite the experience. And one of the most amazing and hard things at the same time was recognizing that I have been a version of myself that's not really authentic to who I am. I've been masking, I guess you could say, my whole life. I didn't recognize that's what I was doing, but that's exactly what I was doing. That first year after quitting my job, I didn't work for a whole year, and I spent a lot of time just being and having fun as best I could with no money, no job. But I really was enjoying myself for a while. Those first several months were amazing. But then things started shifting inside of me because I didn't have the noise of hustle and work and bills and all those things because I was living with family at the time. And things got really quiet on the inside. I started journaling a lot. I started coloring, just things that were very calming for me. I started going to the trail, walking in nature a lot, and things just started unlocking in me. I started remembering who I was before the world told me who to be. And now, 2 years later, after a lot of healing, a lot of accountability, I realized that it started at a very, very early age. As a kid, I used to get in trouble in school all the time because all I wanted to do was play and have fun, like my soul was rebelling against the school system. And I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. And it also stripped away parts of myself, all the boldness and the fearlessness that I had. I had so many dreams as a kid that I completely forgot about because I was in the system of working a 9 to 5, you work, you come home, you take care of the house, whatever else you have going on in your life, and then you wake up and you're doing the same thing over and over. And I started conforming, shrinking myself because I had learned at a very early age because I was different from the kids. I was different from my sisters, and I didn't understand that's what it was, but I was shrinking myself to not feel so weird, to not feel so isolated, and I continued to do it as an adult and didn't even realize it until I took that break. And now I'm so very proud of myself because I remember who I am. I have dreams and goals and aspirations that I'm actually chasing. That before, the old version of me, I would have let fear hold me back because I was a people pleaser. I was I feared being perceived by people. I cared about what people thought of me. I was afraid to live in my truth because just like when I was a kid, I didn't want to feel weird or isolated. But through all the hard work, I don't care anymore. Wow, I didn't think I'd be so emotional. Filming this is my first episode, so welcome. But yeah, I don't care anymore. After leaving everything and being broke, like literally no money to my name, and having to depend on other people to care for me, it humbled me. It humbled me in such a way. And after doing the internal work inside of myself, and that came with taking accountability for bad romantic relationships, allowing people to take advantage of me because I was a people pleaser, and for shrinking myself to fit in. And now I understand I was never supposed to fit in. My soul is just too expensive for fitting into groups that I don't even belong in the first place. And one thing that I have taken away from that is that I was doing all this people pleasing and trying to fit in for fear of being judged, just to find out that the very people I was afraid of being judged by, they are miserable. They live miserable lives and they pretend that they're happy, but they're not. And unfortunately for me, a lot of those people were family, people who I loved and I thought loved me. And the thing about when you find yourself and you find happiness, that's when you find out about the jealousy and the envy that people have been holding for years. At least for me, I know that I was completely oblivious, but thinking back on it, the signs were always there. I guess I just didn't want to see it. But yeah, now that I love myself and I realize how dope of an individual that I am, it's come with a lot of hate, a lot of jealousy, and unfortunately, I had to part ways with a lot of people in my life that I really truly loved, and that I really truly loved me. And although I have taken the time to grieve those relationships, I am so happy for that blessing. Because when I tell y'all, I have been shown some things, especially over the past 6 months to a year, that I would have never ever imagined coming from certain people. But God protects me, He blesses me, and now I'm just at a part of the journey where I am no longer becoming, but I am embodying this new woman, this new version of me who has gone through the fire, through the pain, through the heartache, and I made it on the other side of it. And I'm so proud of myself for not giving up, for not allowing people to break me, because something that we don't talk about much is we talk about attack in the 3D, in the physical world, but we don't talk much about spiritual attacks and spiritual warfare. And for me, I was naive to it all. Like I said, I was a corporate girly. I grew up in a family that's, they're Christians. They go to church and believe in the Bible and all that good stuff. So I didn't grow up understanding or even knowing anything about spirituality. And over these past couple of years, I was going through a spiritual awakening to spirituality and awakening to myself. Like I said, remembering who I am. And I have learned during all of this that those for me, that was closest to me, were the ones that were, whether it was through prayer or through, people out here doing juju and all that kind of stuff, were sending spiritual attacks my way because they saw me becoming and being the person that they always knew, that they saw, that I just didn't see. And boy, once I saw it and started becoming that person, that spiritual attacks just started coming left and right. But like I said, God protects me. I'm a very blessed and protected individual. But it was really just unfortunate to find out that the people that I thought was rooting for me and smiling and acting like they were happy to support were secretly praying for my downfall. So the most important lesson I have learned through all this is discernment. It's real. When you go your whole life being a people pleaser, you don't really think about discernment. You kind of just, whatever that doesn't rock the boat or make anyone angry or upset, you kind of just go with it. So it's just crazy now thinking about like how opposite I am with that. Like that rebellious side that I've always had in me, but I just, tucked it deep down. Well, she's here now. She's here to play because I will no longer allow myself to shrink in any room that I walk into. I will no longer allow people to shame me for living in my truth and being my authentic self. And with me being my authentic self, it triggers people. Sometimes it triggers people in a good way, where they see something or recognize something in themselves and they want to work on it. But then you have those who it triggers and they don't like what they see. And instead of working on it, they project. And that's when they get with the spiritual attacks. And it's like, how dare you be confident? How dare you be sure of yourself? How dare you chase your dreams? But I'm here to tell you, I'm chasing my dreams and I'm going to keep chasing them. Because one thing I've learned during this whole experience is that I could do anything. We are the creators of our own lives. We have been lied to think that, just to think that it's limited success, whatever success means to you, because it's going to mean different things to different people. But we have been taught that there can only be a few of us or several of us, or if 100 people are doing it, then I can't do it because there are too many people doing it already. But the thing about it is that we're all unique. No one can provide what I can provide. Even if 100 millions of people doing podcasts, no one can provide what I can provide in my podcast, because it's me. It's me showing up as my authentic self. And one thing I have learned is that when we don't show up as our authentic self, it's like a slap in the face to God or the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, because me being who I am and shining my light, that is my gift to the world. That is exactly why I'm here. So if you take nothing else from this conversation, please, please, please be you. Don't shrink yourself. Don't let others convince you that you're weird and you shouldn't show up in the way that you do. Show up in the way that feels authentic to you. So, during this time, I have been busy. I have written a book, which I plan to get edited by the end of this year. But y'all, editing, it costs money. But I've written a book. I started a blog. If you want to check it out, it's Julie Renee unplugged.com. It was during last year. It was actually just my journey that I was going through during 2025 and just reflecting as I go. And then I started this YouTube channel. I also started a YouTube channel with my sister in love. It's called Nubian Desires. So you guys could check that out as well. Where we're just women, just having experiences, you know, without the titles of mom, daughter, your job, your career, like just us having experiences and having fun and just Black women loving on one another. It's been such an amazing year, just thinking back to 2025, which wasn't it was a good year because I needed to go through the things that I experienced, but it wasn't easy. And I'm so happy to be on the other side of it now. This weekend, which is 4th of July weekend, is actually the weekend to the date that I left my ex-boyfriend and moved in with my parents. And then I just recently moved into my own space again. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, this is really just an introduction to my podcast. I feel like I've been quiet for so long, but I always have so many thoughts and so many big feelings about things. I love to debate here and there, but yeah, it's like I'm a yapper in my head, so now I feel like it's a time to be a yapper out to the world and like just share my light, share the wisdom I have learned over this life, through this journey, and do what God is calling me to do. And that is to be here with you guys and just sharing anything that might be helpful to anyone. Because we are living in a world right now and we're going through some things, going through a lot of changes. And even though it looks really scary and sad right now, it's actually a good thing because the old has to crumble for the new to grow and come through. And I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely a part of this new earth that we're creating. You know, they say you have to be the change that you want to see, and that's exactly what I'm being right now. So this is not easy for me to sit in front of this camera and talk to the world, but this is what I'm supposed to be doing. When things went quiet and I started writing and talking to God, He spoke back to me, and this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So thank you for spending this time with me. If there's anything that I said that resonated with you, please share it with someone else that you feel like it can help. Thank you so much. Until next time.